Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Alright, so in this video I'm going to be explaining and breaking down a game I played against a Vayne. Alright, so one thing you want to learn about this matchup is the different power spikes of Vayne. So Vayne has different sort of power levels in the game. At this point in the game she's not as strong, but when she gets to mid game she can be a threat if she's good enough. Late game is, of course, the all-popular Vayne pentakill carry 1v5 type stuff. That's what her late game is. But mostly, her early game is to punish. She's pretty much like a Nasus, so you want to think about it like that. Another thing for this is, as you can see, I'm poking the enemy a lot and they're really low. And we end up getting kills because of this. So, for example here, Morgana throws a binding to kill the Malzahar, right? And I'm like, oh, it's okay, I got the Vayne because the Jhin main is back. But yeah, so I get a pretty good snipe off there on the Vayne, and that's what the poke can do. So as Jhin, since I took a break from him a while now, I'd been a bit rusty. So, and I didn't really understand Jhin's power and how strong he can be with the lethality build early game. With this lethality build, you want to play really aggressive in lane, but the thing is, to be able to do that, you have to understand Jhin's kit and how to properly utilize it to destroy your enemy. So for example, the things that I'm doing here, utilizing my kit in a way, is by following up on every binding that Morg lands with a W, but not right away the W. You need to learn Morgana's Q, duration, so that when you W, you don't reset her CC. Because what happens is if you W too early, it cancels her binding and turns it into yours. And that can just shorten the amount of CC that you can put out. And you want it to be as long as you can, because if Morgana puts a pool below them, that'll just be a lot of free damage that you'd be missing if you didn't stun them for longer. So it's little things like this that you can learn. Another thing about this matchup is you need to be able to bully Vayne and land W's on her. So for example, auto attack W is a good harass tool. And when she's low like this, I'm gonna flash and I end up killing her. And then we get another kill in lane because I keep poking them down and forcing Vayne to fight me. And Vayne doesn't really want to fight early game, so that's why you want to take advantage of this in lane. Alright, that's mostly it for the lane phase and a lot of things you need to know. One thing that you do want to watch out for example, in this game I was against the Shaco, and when you're against the Shaco, you don't want to play too aggressive. That's why I let Vayne push me in the early game, like level 1 type stuff. Because Shaco has the level 2, level 3 gank, and I wanted to be careful of that. But yeah, besides that, that's it for the early game, and let's head on to the mid game. Alright, so this right here is your ideal mid game. You want to be forcing lane to farm in the lane and not grouping up where you are in the mid lane. Unfortunately, I do kind of fail at my ultimate here, so embarrassing moment, but let's just pass that. So one thing you want to be doing with your team is grouping up. Now Vayne doesn't farm, which is her mistake, and that is why we start snowballing even harder. So this would actually be even more ideal, forcing Vayne to be behind in CS and also not be in the lane trying to CS. You want her to be able to come and be greedy, and because her team will need her, especially if her team is also feeding. So take advantage of this as much as possible if this ends up happening. But if she just farms, leave her alone and end the game as fast as possible. Because when Vayne starts getting items, she will carry the game. She will solo your entire team if she knows what she's doing. So one thing you want to know about this is Jhin in the mid game is really good at taking towers, and after you've taken a tower, he's good at setting up even more plays for more team fights to happen. He's also really good at catching people out, and that's one thing I want to highlight about this. I keep catching people out because of the W and my Deathfire and how much damage I'm dealing and how fed I am still from the lane phase. So as you just saw me do right there, I killed the Malzahar and set up the play because he stepped forward too much and I auto-attack W'd. Now, the cannon almost kills me here, and this was just a really lucky moment that happened. Hecarim ended up saving me, I'm pretty sure, and I 4th shot the cannon to finish him off. I think it was 21 HP actually. Alright, another thing you want to note about this mid game is try your best not to get caught out. Now, it's hard for me not to get caught out with this team because their team is literally built to catch me out. They have Malzahar ultimate, they have Kennen ultimate, and they have Vasheko. Now, all 3 of those characters are like Jhin's kryptonite, in a way. They all have abilities that they can use to kill Jhin really fast and have Jhin not be able to return damage back. That's mostly it for the mid game, and let's move on to the late game. Alright, so if you do end up going late game to a Vayne, you gotta start playing safer. You can't be as aggressive because you need to make sure that Vayne does not out DPS you, because she will out DPS you if you make the slightest mistake late game, even if you're ahead. The reason this is because of her ultimate and how much she can scale as a champion. I'm not much of a fan of Vayne, but I do know to be scared of them because of this factor. Her scaling factor is just enormous, and you really don't want to be in this position. But one thing I do recommend for getting you out of this position is letting your team know that it would be a good idea to hard focus and CC down the Vayne so that you can finish her off. Because at this point, if you do have a lead on the Vayne, and she's starting to scale up, if your team CCs her, you can still one-shot her. It's going to be more difficult because she can one-shot you. But if you ask your team to CC her, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Alright, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something from this. Let me know if you enjoy these types of videos, or let me know what types of videos you want to see in the future. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up and hopefully subscribe.